Hello, friends. Please take a moment to fill out our listener survey. It's anonymous, and we use this data to get to know you and your interests. It also gives you a chance to tell us how we might make Sleep Tight Relax better for you. You can find the survey at sleeptightrelax.com/survey or follow the link in our show notes. Filling out the survey only takes a few minutes, and your feedback will help us improve our podcast and help us find new sponsors who interest you. As a way of saying thank you, you will be entered to win a $500 gift card. Visit sleeptightrelax.com/survey or follow the link in our show notes. Thank you for your support. Hello, I'm Sheryl, and this is Sleep Tight Relax, a calming bedtime podcast for the young and young at heart. Our sleep story is the 5th chapter of Floppier the Rabbit. Floppier has gotten away from another dog and is now wondering where he can spend the night when he meets another rabbit. Floppier spends the night with Fluffo and the next morning heads out again to find his family. He hops through the woods until he comes to a farm. Floppier hops into a wooden shed and finds some bark to chew on, but when he hears someone coming, he hides. Will he be okay? But before we continue with our story, let's take a moment to relax. We can practice our deep breathing anytime or anywhere. But before bed, let's first turn down the lights, get comfortable, and make sure that everything feels as it should. Now, close your eyes if you like, and we will begin with a few slow, deep belly breaths. Each time you breathe in, breathe all the way down into your belly. When you breathe in, be sure to slowly breathe through your nose. And when you breathe out, try to push all the air out of your lungs. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice how you feel when you take these deep breaths, how you get more and more relaxed with each breath, how the weight of your body sinks into the bed. Breathe in and breathe out. Throughout this time of relaxation and our story, thoughts of the day or the day to come may enter your mind. That's okay and normal. When they come, just try to return your attention to your breathing, to the story, and music. Breathe in and breathe out. Perfect. Let's continue with Floppier, the Funny Rabbit, Chapter 5. My, that was a long run, said Floppier as he came to rest on a bed of soft moss. I thought that dog would surely catch me. He listened very hard, but he could not hear the dog barking now. The dog had gone back to his home in the farmhouse near the big pile of hay. Floppier was hungry again now, so after resting, he looked around and found some sweet bark from a tree. He ate as much of this as he wanted, taking a little sassafras bark as a sort of dessert. as you take pudding or pie." And then he hopped on again, still looking for his lost home. All that day, Flop-Ear wandered about in the woods. Then, as night was coming on, he looked for a place to sleep. He was wondering if he had better not go back to the pile of hay when, all at once, he saw another rabbit just ahead of him. "Oh, if that is only one of my parents," thought Flop-Ear, his heart beating very fast. "How happy I would be. Hello there," he called to the other bunny. "Hello," came back the answer. And then Flop-Ear's heart was sad, for the voice was not that of any of his relatives. Not Lady Munch, his father's, mother's, Pink Noses, or Snuggles. "Do you live around here?" asked Flop-Ear to the strange rabbit. "Yes," was the answer. "My burrow is right under the place where you are sitting, and my front door is near this rock where I am." "Oh dear, I wish I were as near my home as you are to yours," said Flop-Ear. "What's the matter?" asked the other rabbit, whose name was Fluffo. "Oh, I'm lost," Flop-Ear said. "A man and his dog chased me away from my nice home." "Then come and stay with me," suggested Fluffo. "I have plenty of room, and there are some nice carrots and cabbages in my burrow." "Oh, how good that sounds," Flop-Ear said. "I will come in and stay with you." So down into the other bunny's burrow he went and had a good supper, staying there all night. He had a good breakfast, too, and then he started off through the woods again. "Why don't you stay longer with me?" asked Fluffo. "I've plenty of room for both of us." "Oh, I would like to stay," Flop-Ear said, "but I feel that I must try to get back to my own dear home. My father and mother may be looking for me." "Well, go on then," said Fluffo. "I hope you will find your burrow soon." "Thank you," said Flop-Ear. "I hope I do." Away he hopped over the fields and through the woods, and pretty soon he saw that the woods were coming to an end again. A large field was in front of Flop-Ear, and in the field was a farmhouse with barns and sheds. "I wonder if I could get anything to eat over there," thought Flop-Ear, for he had not had anything since leaving Fluffo's burrow early that morning. "I guess I'll hop over and see," went the rabbit. "I hope there are no dogs to chase me." Flop-Ear hopped across the field toward the farmhouse. Behind it was a little shed, and the door of this shed was open. In went Flop-Ear, not knowing quite where he was going. He saw piles of wood in the shed, for this was the place where the farmer's wife kept her wood for making fires. There were pieces of trees that had once grown in the forest. "Well, here is some bark I can gnaw," thought Flop-Ear, "but it is not as nice and fresh as that which grows on the trees in the woods. I guess I'll—" And then Flop-Ear stopped suddenly, for he heard someone coming into the woodshed. "Oh, I hope it isn't that man," thought the rabbit. "I'd better hide." In front of him was a basket filled with wood. There was room down among the sticks of wood for Flop-Ear to hide. Into the basket he jumped and cuddled down out of sight. Then Flop-Ear heard a woman calling, "Jimmy, Jimmy, bring me a basket of wood, please." "I will, Mother," answered a boy. Flop-Ear could understand some of our kind of talk, you know, though he could not speak it himself. The rabbit heard someone walking around the shed, and then, all at once, Floppier felt himself being lifted up in the basket of wood and being carried along. "Oh, I wonder what is going to happen to me now," thought the rabbit, whose heart was beating very fast, as he was very frightened. "Are you bringing the wood, Jimmy?" the boy's mother called. "Yes, I'm coming with it." There was something else in the basket besides the wood, but the boy didn't know that. Floppier felt himself bouncing along, up and down, as the boy carried him in the wood basket. And then he felt the basket being set down. "Take out the wood, Jimmy, and put it in the wood box behind the stove, please," said the woman. And so he did. Stick after stick he lifted out, and Floppier, who was down in the very bottom, was wondering what would happen when the basket was empty. "They will see me then for sure," said the rabbit. "I wonder what they will do to me. Oh, I seem to be getting in more and more trouble all the time." The boy who was lifting the wood out of the basket suddenly said, "Oh, Mother, look here, a rabbit!" "A rabbit? Where?" "In the wood basket." And before Floppier could hop out of the way, the boy had lifted him up in his arms, holding him closely. Floppier at first was so frightened at finding himself in the boy's arms that he did not know what to do. He trembled and tried to get away, but the boy said, "Keep still, little rabbit. I won't hurt you. I will be kind to you." Floppier understood a little of this talk, but best of all, he understood the kind, stroking hand of the boy, who rubbed his fur softly. Animals can tell just by the way you touch them whether or not you are going to be nice to them. But Floppier was still frightened. To a little rabbit, a boy is as big as a giant would be to you or me, and this was the first time in his whole life Floppier had ever been near a human being. It was the first time he had ever seen a boy close by, and he was afraid. "Now don't try to get away, little bunny," said the boy kindly. "I won't hurt you. See him, Mother? Isn't he cute?" "Where did you get him, Jimmy?" "Why, he was in the wood basket, right under the wood, and when I lifted out the last sticks, I saw him." "In the wood basket? How in the world did he get in there?" "He must have come in from the fields or woods and hopped in to hide," said Jimmy. "I am going to keep him for a pet if he will stay with me. I'll teach him some tricks." "Put him down on the floor and see if he will stay," suggested the mom. "I'm afraid he'll run. Wait until I shut the door," the boy said. "And I will get him a carrot to eat," said his mother. "Maybe he won't run when he sees that." She put a carrot down on the kitchen floor, and the boy placed Floppier in front of it. The carrot smelled very good to Floppier, for he was hungry, so he did not run away, though his heart was still beating fast. Then the boy saw the little rabbit's funny, drooping ear. "Oh, Mother, look!" cried Jimmy. "What a rabbit!" "Yes, he does look unusual," said the mom. "I think Floppier would be a good name for him." And so, you see, without any trouble at all, Floppier got his own right name. It was natural to call him that. "Well, this isn't so bad," thought Floppier as he nibbled the carrot. All this while, Floppier was eating the carrot, one of his ears standing up and the other drooping down, and he looked so unusual that the boy and his mother had to laugh. "I did not know rabbits would come into our woodshed," the boy said. "I wonder what made this one do so." "Perhaps he was hungry," said Jimmy's mother. And that was the reason, as you know, why Floppier had come to the farmhouse and had gone into the shed. Floppier was not so frightened now. He looked all around him, and he thought he was in a very strange place. A farmhouse kitchen. There was a big black thing there, and in it was a fire. Floppier knew what fire was, for once the woods near his burrow were blazing, and the rabbits had to run underground and stay there to keep away from the hot flames. "I wonder why people want fires in their houses," thought Floppier. "We never have any in our burrow." Then he saw Jimmy's mother put a pan on the big black thing with fire in it, and soon white smoke, so it seemed to Floppier, rose from the pan. Jimmy's mother was cooking dinner over the fire, made with some of the wood taken from the basket in which the rabbit had hidden. "Floppier," said the boy, speaking to the rabbit just as if it could understand. "Floppier, you are a nice bunny, and I like you. I am going to keep you for myself, and I will teach you some tricks in a few days when you are not so frightened. And I must make a little house for you to stay in. A box will do, though I suppose you can gnaw your way out with your teeth if you don't like it. But I will get a strong box and give you plenty to eat, and maybe you will not try to get away." "I think you are a very nice boy," thought Floppier to himself. "You seem to be kind to me, but still I cannot promise to always stay with you. I want to go back to my own home and folks, but I will stay here a while and eat carrots." Of course, the boy could not know Floppier was thinking this, but the boy could see that the rabbit was not as frightened as he had been at first. "I think he likes me," said the boy to his mother. "I will teach him some tricks, and maybe I can sell him to the circus." "Oh, I wouldn't sell him," Jimmy's mother said. "I think you should keep him for yourself." "All right, maybe I'll do that." And that's the end of this part of our story. Good night. Sleep tight.